Got something for you, but keep it to yourself. I'm feeling curious, want to explore it, nothing too serious. Forget the world for a minute, before we know it, the future's the past. Seize the moment while we're in it, hold on to each other as long as it lasts. I don't care about forever, 'cause sometimes forever is over so fast. Hush, hush, baby, come in here with me. I want for you to go. No need to worry, there is no hurry to stay. We'll take it slow.
And you had a pretty long NBA career yourself.
The 2K Sports Pregame Show.
Hey everybody, Ernie Johnson welcoming you to the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm joined by the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, and the Jet, Kenny Smith. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Detroit Pistons going up against the Orlando Magic. Checking out the Magic, only one win in their last 6 games. They know they can play much better, looking to be more competitive tonight. And tonight we'll be watching Nick Vucevic do his thing. Vuce, one of the better big men in the league at putting the ball on the floor and attacking the rim. Just how beneficial is that for a big man to have in their skill set, big man?
Well, first of all, anybody with a Vic in their last name is a heck of a player.
Why is that?
Stojakovic, Petrovic, and my favorite, Onilovic.
What about Maravich?
Oh, don't forget Maravich. Good job, Kenny. But this coach, he lets Vucevic play out on the high post more often, and he has a very quick first step. I love Vucevic.
Well, he creates a lot of mismatches because of the mid-range game that he has. For a big guy to get in that mid-range area, attacks the rim, he is tough to guard.
And that'll wrap it up as we take you courtside. That was awesome. Thanks for joining us.
2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Tell them sit down. Be humble. 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 Sit down.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. The Detroit Pistons come into this one after the win against the Pacers in Indiana.
Playing on the road, always a challenge, but it becomes a heck of a lot easier when you can shoot the 3-ball the way they did.
And, Greg, they were shooting that thing with confidence, boy. Every time they got a clean look from deep, the trigger was pulled. Ow!
And let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report before the tip-off. Hey, Dave.
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy has coached the likes of Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, and Dwight Howard. But he said, as a rebounder, Andre Drummond is as good as anybody, if not the best that I've ever been around. He just goes out and gets the ball. Drummond said it's just a will. The will to get the ball most people won't jump for. I just put myself out there. Kevin?
Thanks, D.A. And Drummond is just a hulk of a man. He's really the backbone of this team. There is no shortage of athleticism in this one tonight, Clark. Both these teams just incredibly athletic on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I agree with you there, partner. I mean, they cover so much ground, and they cover it quickly because of the length and speed they have as teams. I mean, excellent length on both sides of the ball in this one, and they play to their strengths, and that's length and athleticism.
And it's going to be the Magic off the tip. all fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So on the floor for Orlando, Payton and Fournier are the 1 and the 2. The big men are Gordon and Vucevic. And it's Simmons in at the 3, the small forward. So the Orlando Magic able to put the first points up on the board. The Pistons working the ball around now. And that one, good.
And it's always nice to get the easy look inside for your first points of the game.
And then Gordon with the dunk.
Tremendous court awareness by Payton.
And the Pistons with possession here. Outside Jackson, poke loose. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back. And Fournier kicks to Gordon. Over Harris. And that one comes up a bit short. Bradley, no one around him. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson.
Boy, that's impressive. I mean, not often do you see shots like this find the net. Fortunately, the basket got in the way.
And the basket is good.
Well, I think this is the start they wanted. Come out and put some points up early. 3 or 4 so far.
Outside Bradley. Johnson, a wide open look. Off target from three-point range. And now here comes Simmons leading the break. Simmons. And Simmons is right there.
Hard work and soft hands. Guys, that's what made that play possible.
No simple offensive rebound there. Going for the tip in.
But that's the way to go if you've got good position.
So it's the Pistons now. The Magic getting the bucket. Harris with it. Now guarded by Vucevic. Knocked loose and stolen by Simmons. Jumps up and Vucevic throws it down.
Love the way Vucevic gets his puppies up and down when he runs the floor. Just looks like he wants to beat everybody to the basket.
Knocked loose. It's stolen by Vucevic. And Vucevic throws it down.
And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end.
Jackson against Payton, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession.
And a moment here to look at some of the stats for Nikola Vucevic. He's right around 17 points tonight, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. And he brings that offensive firepower to the team. Scoring just comes naturally.
And, you know, defenses are throwing everything at him, Sid, yet he's still able to put up points. He's really unstoppable.
Left side, Bradley. To halt the run, Jackson misses.
Well, he mistimed it just a skosh. Don't think the defense really had an impact. I think he just flat out missed it.
And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. You see it now on the scoreboard.
Clearly in great rhythm. They've got it going on, I mean, in a big way. Excellent job at establishing a huge lead early on.
Here's Johnson. After the Magic pick up 2. Drummond dishes to Harris. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Harris.
We've got a moment now to see how the Magic are doing in the NBA rankings right now.
And let's go back to their place in terms of the assists. Cracking into the top 5 for me is an illustration of the cohesiveness with which they play offensively. No doubt this team's on the same page.
Was shot by Payton, no good. Pistons trail by 10. Bradley drives in. Jackson has the open look, and the 3 ball is good. Jackson's got 5.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting calls, and for good reason.
Well, you know, Greg, they can count on him to get buckets. I mean, he's getting the ball because he's very efficient when he has it.
Here's Bradley, following the basket by Elfrid Payton. Johnson the screen, and here's Harris from the arc. Harris missing again.
Well executed, great rhythm. You've got to finish that one.
Agree with you there, partner, because that screen really freed him up nicely, and that's a shot that if you're a pro, you need to make that one.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there, earned those free throws.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Magic.
They've made the commitment to get out and run, and it's paid off with some highlight reel plays in transition.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
gentlemen, 2 shots. Move shots.
First free throw is good. And the Magic just went through, Clark, the worst 5-year stretch in franchise history.
Yep, and how about the second worst winning percentage in the league? That's where they've been the last half decade, and some failed trades, misses on some draft picks. They've got a really good young coach, though, I think, in Frank Vogel. Had some tough luck in the lottery along the way. At some point, you have to start creating and crafting your own luck, and I think they will. I really do. Frank has proven himself as a good coach. I think it's just a matter of time before the Magic start trending north. Hey, Kevin, no idea what happened there, quite honestly. I mean, seemed like he just mistimed that pass.
Orlando leading by 10. Here's Gordon, and it's Gordon finishing it off.
Starting to surge here, and we're only in the first quarter.
Yeah, and they've come out strong. I mean, clearly they've been the better team so far.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here.
And Elfrid Payton was drafted 10th back in 2014, played 3 years at Louisiana Lafayette. Very young for a junior in terms of his age. The story goes that he started kindergarten when he was only 3 years old. Man, that kid got an early start on schoolwork, and he looks like a really smart player, too.
With this break, a look at our 2K leaderboard and the top passing centers and power forwards over the course of the past 10 games. Andre Drummond 4th, and of course Nikola Vucevic.
And these are some of the most complete players in our league. I mean, they're not just traditional score and rebound big men. They can beat you with their passing as well.
And their teammates know to always keep moving on the perimeter because the ball will be coming back out to you if you work yourself free. You're looking at some of the masters of the kick-out pass right there.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Detroit needs to get off a shot here. Drummond, Vucevic with the rebound.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
The shot's good from Fournier.
Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
And to battle back, they've got to shore up the defense. I mean, there's no other way to come back from a deficit unless you play good defense.
And Detroit has possession. Magic knocking down the tray. And Bradley gets it to go.
And that's how you answer back.
Exactly, Greg. I mean, go right back at them. Show them you can shoot from outside all night long.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness.
And he jams it with authority.
A power flush with a long hang on the rim at the end of that.
That could be a catalyst for him. It really could.
We've seen those kinds of plays get them going in the past.
Yeah, pounding it inside once again. They have taken over this game physically.
Schooling them right now. Taking them to the woodshed, super aggressive and owning the paint.
And so it's Detroit with the ball. The Magic getting the bucket. And there's a call on Tobias Harris. That's his first foul. Orlando leading by 14. Here's Simmons. That's in, coming off an assist from Payton. Payton's got 4 assists in the game.
That's their third straight make off an assist.
Johnson outside. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. For a young player, Clark, it's adjusting to the speed of the NBA and the length of the schedule. So how do you power through that rookie wall? How do you survive that?
Well, there's no magic formula, Kevin. You just have to stay the course because it comes in different times for different players. For me, it was after about 60 games. I was a starter playing 34, 35 minutes a game. So it was a combination of fatigue and just getting used to 2.5 times more games than I had ever played in my career. So you fight through it, stay with your habits, stay with your preparation, and eventually you find your legs.
And the first one at the line is good. And he makes both free throws.
And when you look at what the Pistons have done, pretty clear this is a team that has a vision of who they want to be. Strong defensively, really good at rebounding the basketball, and I think deliberate and patient on the offensive side of the floor.
Now here's Jackson after the miss from Vucevic. And that one's good. Drummond.
He doesn't do some of the damage that other big men do on the perimeter, but inside, Drummond's got just as much game as anybody.
And that one drops for him. And with the Pistons, this has been the identity the team has been aiming for under Stan Van Gundy. It's taken shape, but has yet, Greg, to produce big results.
I think it's because they've just always been one or two pieces short of making that next jump. I think the conference has gotten stronger, and while their best players are really good, I don't think they're quite at that elite level yet to allow this group to take that next step.
And Gordon is a guy who's used to being bodied. I mean, he just kind of plays through it, shrugging off the contact and ignoring it, really.
Bradley passes to Jackson. Offensive rebound. And again, it's Andre Drummond.
Really active down there, imposing his will and force and seeing his efforts pay off.
Here's Gordon. And no good that time. Some solid defense from Harris. The open shot by Johnson. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
Nobody even close to him, and he can't believe he doesn't knock it down.
The shot by Payton, no good. Pistons trail by 12. It's Bradley on the wing. He's guarded by Fournier. Jackson, that's good.
Tell you what, the defense has to be kicking themselves. Just a step late there, and the shooter made them pay for it.
And it's Gordon missing. Detroit's gone 3 of 7 from three-point range in the first quarter. Payton against Jackson. Johnson from outside. And it's Johnson again missing. The drive by Gordon. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
And, you know, the attack from Gordon, his explosive first step on his drives to the hoop, really scary.
And you look at Aaron Gordon, one of those culture setters, unselfish, defensive-minded, and Clark, he's a worker.
Yeah, he is that, and he also is very impressive going back to the 2014 draft in the interview process. Made quite an impression. Very precocious young man.
Take a break.
A little bit ahead of his time and maturity when you talk about his age now. Stays grounded, even-keeled. This guy knows who he is and where he wants to go.
The first one falls.
Got to stay active when Gordon's out there. I mean, his ability to make something out of nothing is huge for this team.
So Detroit ends up going with the new group. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Biyombo is checked in for Vucevic. Spates comes in for Simmons. Hezonja, he's checked in for Evan Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. He's off on the second.
Well, you talk about the league's premier athletes, and Aaron Gordon has to be on your list. I mean, incredible dunks in the 2016 dunk contest, and his in-game dunks are ridiculous. Here's a chance to take a look at the Pistons and how they rank in the NBA right now.
And looking again at those second chance points, they might not be the best in that area, but it is still, I think, to their advantage in terms of the outcome of some games.
The Pistons shooting their third and fourth free throw shots of the night.
Two shot.
And he can't get the first one. And coming out of Arizona, Aaron Gordon, seen as sort of a mini Blake Griffin. Not maybe as strong, but he's that kind of finisher.
Well, certainly can see some similarities and understand the comparison, but they are different players. But I think that Aaron Gordon can be better than Griffin defensively. He's got great mobility, tremendous bounce, and he's got the motor you like to see in a defensive player. If he can get his jump shot going, I think he'll be a star.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
And a trend they'd love to continue right through the next 3 quarters as well, Greg.
Marjanovic kicks to Bullock. Hits the three-point bomb.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
Magic leading by 6. And the pass to Spates. And the rejection by Marjanovic. Here's Galloway. And it's blocked. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. And a look now at the breakdown between 3-point and 2-point shots attempted here tonight for the Pistons.
Liking the effectiveness they've shown here from three-point land. And I say, hey, shoot it more. They've been successful with a high field goal percentage, and we'll see if that continues to be a part of their arsenal.
Passes to Tolliver. Back to Galloway. And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen.
And that's a tough one, but on those illegal screen calls, the defender's never going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Those are facts, man. I mean, if he's sliding his feet just a skosh, the refs are going to whistle him for it.
And the dunk by Biyombo.
Hey, when Biyombo's deep inside, it's fun to watch because you know this guy is going to finish with a flush.
Pistons trail by 8. Here's Marjanovic. How's that for an answer? Right back with the dunk.
And no doubt they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
And that deficit will go away quickly if he does, Greg.
Well, I like the way he capped off that drive. The one-hand hole punch.
Here's Smith following the bucket by Orlando. Pass to Tolliver. Trying to find Marjanovic. Gets it over to him. Goes back up. And it's good on the way in. Marjanovic has got 5.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Oh! Big time throwdown with flavor.
That is just nasty.
About the athleticism on that finish.
And that was Under Armour bringing you that replay. Unleash chaos. And what a play it was. So it's Detroit now. The Magic getting the bucket. Galloway, the pass to Marjanovic. To the middle. Here's Bullock. Banked in off the glass. He's got 5.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Gordon kicks to Spates. Lets it go from 14. Pistons trail by 6. The feed to Tolliver. Back to Smith. There's a screen by Marjanovic. And there's a foul. It's on Maurice Spates. That'll be his second foul of the game.
I think he's going to have to be more cautious on defense. He can't afford to pick up a 3rd foul here in the first quarter.
There's a screen by Marjanovic. Here's the screen. And stolen by Spates.
I mean, with the amount of turnovers they've committed, it's no wonder they're in the position they're in right now. Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Greg, no problem for me with that call. I mean, he was still sliding right there.
Here's Gordon. Falls right in. He is 8 for 11 with that shot.
And right now, Gordon is on a whole nother level now. I mean, he's not forcing anything. He's really letting the game come to him, and his shots are being taken right in rhythm.
Bullock, good. Magic leading by 6. Augustine with it. Now Smith defending. Here's Gordon. And that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Gordon's got 19 points.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A three-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possessions.
And for the Magic, it's really been a musical chairs with their coaches. A lot of churning on the roster, but the pieces still have yet to gel. And honestly, it's been a mess.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
And if you're running the Magic, Greg, what's the roadmap to contention?
Well, first and foremost, it's always going to have to start through the draft. I mean, you've got to be able to get core pieces there. And then you want to continue to add perimeter shooting and focus on developing your young talent based on the way the game is played today.
Pistons trail by 11. Here's Galloway. An 11-point game for him in the win against Indiana. There's 10 seconds left in the first quarter. And the basket by Gordon.
Well, you've got to give Gordon the ball when he's down inside. I mean, he can really score it in there.
The drive by Smith takes the 12-footer and hits. Smith's got his first 2 points.
The mid-range jumper is a high percentage shot for him, and when he's got that much room, forget about it.
And so it's Orlando. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. A terrific tempo and a great pace. The fast break has been a central part of their offense. And we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And a very convincing performance from the Magic so far.
I mean, a solid first quarter, especially looking at that plus turnover ratio.
Yeah, everything is sharp. I mean, nothing forced, precise passes, taking care of the ball. That's good stuff.
So on the floor for Orlando, filling out the wings, it's Azania and Gordon. Maurice Spade's out there with Bismack Biyombo. And it's Augustine in at the 1. Now, here is Smith. 6 on the shot clock. There's a screen by Marjanovic. Galloway off target with his 3. Magic leading by 11. And now Orlando on the break. Pull up Jay. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
Boy, I like seeing Gordon work on that jump shot of his. He's going to need to knock it down consistently at his position to be one of the best in the league.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, the Orlando Magic do have a stacked front court. They've got plenty of size. Head coach Frank Vogel said, "In today's small ball NBA, we think we can beat the heck out of teams in the paint. But shooting has been a hindrance," and he conceded we might have to win some games, 68-65. Kevin?
Going against the grain, D.A. Thank you. Here's Kennard. Bounces high off the rim and drops.
Great job getting to the right spot on the court. Beautiful passing all the way around.
And then Gordon with the dunk.
And that's Gordon's game now. You can't give him room to hit the launch pad because if he does, he's throwing it down every time.
Pistons trail by 13. Smith the pass to Kennard. Back to Smith. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Smith's got his second basket.
Now that's where you like your shots to come from.
It's stolen by Marjanovic. Smith outside. Feeds it to Galloway. Here's Marjanovic. And with that one, the lead is trimmed to single digits.
Got to be happy with the result, moving the ball so well on that possession. Beautiful.
Biyombo, that's good.
And Biyombo is highly effective down low, knows where to post up in the paint.
Pass to Marjanovic. A second chance effort, and that's 2 points on the layup. Marjanovic has got 4 points now in the quarter.
How about the perseverance there, the extra effort on that offensive glass?
Here's Biyombo. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. And the Magic lead by 11.
And just enough wiggle room to get off his shot.
Yeah, I like the quick release, Greg. He does a nice job getting it up quickly, especially when he's facing a bigger defender.
Often modern NBA players will get criticized for not being sound enough with their fundamentals. Clark, do you feel that's a fair statement?
I really don't. I think it's a bit of an overreach. You know, we all have revisionist history. Things were always better in our past than they are currently. I mean, the stories get better as we get older is one of the ways I've heard it framed. I think the players are more athletic, and because they play growing up in more structured environments, I think sometimes they don't get the same nuances and feel for the game that you would get from just playing organically. But I still think fundamentally the players are quite good, and I do think that's a bit of a reach as a sweeping statement that they're not as sound fundamentally today as they were in the past.
Harris is checked in for Anthony Tolliver. And a switcher also for Orlando. Simmons is checked in. He's perfect from the line this time. The Magic leading by 9. That's in. Augustine with the assist. Simmons got 6.
Yeah, nice vision from the little fella there. Augustine making it easy for his teammates by finding the open man.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Orlando this season.
Yeah, and they lost the season series to this squad last time around. Maybe a little extra motivation tonight to show they've improved.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Two teams in the bottom half of the conference as far as respect goes. They're both scratching and clawing to try to get a little more of that respect.
Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against them right now.
Yeah, there's no reason why they should be scoring at will down there easily as they have. I mean, they've got to be more aggressive inside.
For the Pistons, Drummond's checked in for Marjanovic. Bradley comes in for Langston Galloway, and it's Jackson in for Ish Smith. Orlando also making some changes. Vucevic comes in for Maurice Spates, and it's Elfrid Payton in for Augustine. Now here's Jackson. He's got 8, and stolen by Simmons. Payton gets the bucket. He has 5.
And Payton has the ability to turn the Jets on in a heartbeat. When you allow him some space to get going, it's over.
Here's Harris, and fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts, and a chance for one more here.
And, you know, it's obvious he's a talented scorer. I mean, that's a given. A guy you can depend on to get it done in a lot of ways.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the game here.
This season, he has been absolutely locked in at the free throw line. How about 90%?
You know, even in games where he hasn't been at his best this season, I mean, he still managed to get it done at the charity stripe when he gets his opportunities.
Shooting one.
That's good from Harris.
They've hit every one of their free throws here in the second quarter. Very important when you're trailing.
Vucevic, and Vucevic throws it down.
And how about the way Vucevic leaps off the floor? I mean, showing no respect or remorse when he attacks the rim.
And now here comes Simmons leading the break. That's good. And it's Payton with the assist. Simmons got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at both ends. Steals, fast break buckets, and the other team in scramble mode.
Detroit, no good that time either. The Magic leading by 14. Here's Azania, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Azania is confident and unafraid when he takes it inside. He doesn't mind getting fouled.
And this is his second trip to the line tonight.
Shooting 2.
The first one falls.
Boy, Hazonia, gotta love him. I mean, he's a fantastic 2 guard with great size.
That one misses, so he goes 1 for 2. Clark, most great defenders are at the forward positions in the league right now.
Yeah, they are, and I tell you what, boy, you talk about Klay Thompson shooting, but defensively, he is actually, he's an instructional video, what he does defensively. He's strong, he's smart. Goodness. Talk about bringing the heat, the thunder, and the lightning on that pound. Hey, let's make a spot in the dunk contest for Hazonia. Boy, he's awesome throwing it down.
Jackson with it. Now Payton defending. Jackson is doubled. He's looking for Drummond and finds him. Count that one. Drummond's got 6 points.
Even double team. He had the vision to see the open man.
Vucevic, and fouled as he went up to the dunk. Good aggressive move, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, you know, as the NBA continues to change, Nikola Vucevic is an interesting case study. He's got the skill level for today's game, but the question is, does he have the mobility? He's not that quick of foot, and that's been problematic for him.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
Free throw drops for Vucevic. And more than ever before, the NBA requires big men to cover a lot of ground. Vucevic looking to keep up.
Yeah, Vucevic, I think, is really a terrific rebounder and passer, and you can see all of his positives. He can score on the block and make the 3-point shot. I think it's just a matter of him consistently tying all of that together.
And both free throws good for Vucevic.
Boy, tell you what, on offense, Vucevic is as talented as they come for a big guy. Has the ability to post up as well as shoot from the mid-range area. And that combination makes him a hard cover.
And those are 2 teammates right there working in rhythm. One setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation.
Jackson against Payton. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Vucevic. And again, Orlando running the court in transition. Another shot. And it's laid in by Payton. 7 points in the game.
Terrific hustle from the point guard, Payton. His basketball IQ is really impressive in how he tracks down these rebounds. He's got a knack for chasing down the ball.
Here's Vucevic. Got it. Number 7 on the night. 7 for 11 from the floor.
Well, I tell you what, I like the clip he's shooting at. Extremely effective. If you're on defense now, you got to get the ball out of his hands.
Bradley with the ball. He's got 7. He dishes it to Jackson. Here's Drummond. That's tipped. It's taken away by Payton. Here's Vucevic. And that one hits back iron. Pistons trailed by 19. Now Bradley. He's been playing a big part of their offensive scheme, averaging around 15.5 points a game. Here's the break. Here's Vucevic. Score the basket, his 8th. 8 for 13 from the floor.
Quite honestly, Vucevic is one of the most aggressive and best rebounders in the association.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
And you look at the post-up bangers who don't block shots at a high level. More and more we're seeing teams relegate them to that six-man role off the bench. It'll be interesting to see how that affects a guy like Vucevic who fits that description.
Greg, why is it, do you think, that teams want those more floor-bound, post-up big men like Vucevic coming off the bench?
I think two things. First of all, their defensive shortcomings are less exposed playing against other reserves. Also, their ability to create offense on the block has more value with that second unit because that group tends to have their struggles in terms of scoring the basketball.
Fournier's checked in for Mario Hezonja. And we see a chart here for the shooting performance so far for Gordon.
And everything he's touched has turned to gold. If you are on defense, you have to make sure all five players know exactly where he is at all times, because if he gets a sliver of a look, he'll get it done.
Fournier against Bradley. Johnson from outside. That's good, and it's Jackson with the assist that time. Magic leading by 18 to the inside, and it's Biyombo with the jam.
Really impressive seeing a guy like Vucevic carve up the defense with his peripheral vision and passing. So good at spotting the open man.
Outside Jackson, outside Bradley. In the corner, it's Harris. Drummond a screen. Harris dishes to Jackson. Biyombo kicks to Fournier.
Out of France, the sharp shooting Fournier, an important player to this team because of his scoring ability.
And Evan Fournier out of France. His father was a judo champion.
And you know, Fournier is conscious of European players' reputation for being more finesse, soft, if you will. And I think he's done a nice job being aggressive and getting himself to the free throw line by playing a more physical game. I think at 6'7", he wants to dispel that reputation as being a finesse guy.
2 shots.
And that one falls for Fournier. And Evan Fournier out of France, an instinctive offensive player, Greg.
Yeah, favorite player growing up was Manu Ginobili, and you can see some similarities in their games. Fournier possesses long-range shooting, but also able to handle and put pressure on the D with the dribble.
The Pistons making a change here. Bullock's checked in, and so Fournier nails both of them. Here's Bullock. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Pacers in Indianapolis. Drummond is doubled. Kicks to Bullock. Outside Jackson. Off target with his 3. Magic leading by 22. Here's Fournier. Reggie Jackson with the rebound. The Pistons have gone 8 of 13 in the second quarter. Well above the 50% mark from the field. Here's Harris. And again, it's the Pistons missing. Looking at the last game for Orlando, it was a loss to the Trailblazers.
Yeah, they lost the momentum, and it's a bit surprising that one got away from them because for long stretches, they were the better team.
Well, if you only looked at the stat sheet, you'd have a hard time figuring out how they lost it. I mean, it was a case of a few small things, some of the intangibles that didn't go their way in the end.
And here we go. Fast break. Payton's got it. Makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
When Payton's on you, beware. I mean, this guy works hard on the defensive end and pounces on his man to come away with steals a lot of the time.
And Elfrid Payton with the foul. That's his first foul. Magic on defense. Jackson from long range.
He's cooled down a little bit after draining those 2 3-pointers in the first quarter.
Here's Biyombo. He's off on that one. Good D by Drummond. Dishes it to Jackson. On the wing, Harris. And he can't stop this drought. Another miss. And it's Simmons penetrating. Count it. Simmons got 10 points.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
I'd agree with you, and I don't think they expected this one to be a game where they would get battered inside like they had. Obviously, I mean, it would go a long way if he's making his shots. Right now, they're behind, and they certainly could use his help.
And a good example there of why it's important to change ends quickly.
Vitally important. I mean, if you relax for a second, you're cooked. You're toast. They learned that lesson there.
Ball's knocked loose, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession.
A moment here to look at some numbers for Drummond. He's averaging 14 points a game, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists. And his rebounding is what's most impressive. He's shown tremendous determination on the backboards.
And it's a big asset for this team. I mean, he blocks out on the defensive glass, and then he keeps balls alive at the offensive end.
And he got off to a nice start, but has slowed down here in the second quarter.
Clark, in your rookie season in the NBA, did you ever have a welcome to the NBA moment, a play or a sequence where you were brutally introduced to how unforgiving the NBA can truly be?
Yeah, how about my first night out? Spencer Haywood ran me in circles, and I shot 2 for 17, scored 6 or 8 points, and he was in my head from the very beginning. Thankfully, the Pacers won that game because it was a forgettable night other than that. But Spencer Haywood, even to this day, when I bump into him, reminds me of how he disrupted me and distracted me in that first game of my rookie season.
That's good from Simmons.
And one thing that you can say about this Pistons team is they are fundamentally sound, strong on the glass and closing out possessions, and they really don't make a lot of mistakes.
Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for the Pistons. Langston Galloway comes in for Reggie Jackson. Spates checked in for the Magic. Augustine comes in for Peyton. Both shots good from the stripe. Greg, with the Pistons and their discipline as a team, part of their great rebounding means they allow very few second-chance points, one of the fewest allowed in the league last season.
And couple that with how strong they've been at taking care of the basketball. Low turnover numbers as well as points allowed off of those turnovers. And with that rebounding, I think it makes for very measured basketball.
Here's Simmons. Blanketed by the D, he fights to the rim for the layup. Simmons got 16 points.
Just increasing their advantage, and right now they're in a zone on both ends.
Yeah, it's got to be terribly deflating for the opposition. Boy, they look helpless, really getting beat up, physically and emotionally.
Here's Spates. Rebounded by the Pistons.
That's smothering defense. Chicken and gravy defense, not giving him an inch there. That's how you guard the inside. Yes, sir.
Here's Augustine. Here's Simmons. He just cannot miss. 8 up, 8 in. Flawless.
As the game has gone along, they've gotten more and more aggressive on the backboard.
Well, it's paid off with a greater rate of second chance hoops. I mean, great effort to build this lead on their part.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
That's the second long-range bomb in the quarter after a slow first period. He is on a roll.
Pistons shooting 38% in the second quarter. Offensively, they look a little bit confused. That's tipped and stolen by Spates. 4-on-3 break. Let's take a look at the players that have been grabbing rebounds in bunches to lead the NBA over the last 10 games. Second, Andre Drummond, and, of course, Nikola Vucevic.
The work this twosome has done on the boards over that period cannot be overlooked. They've both been big factors.
Gentlemen, 2 shots. Roof shots.
That's good from Simmons. And the Magic benefiting from multiple first-round picks this summer. They needed the help.
Yeah, they did, and they need a big hit in the draft. I mean, they've lacked star talent, and we know this is a talent-driven league. Either you develop stars or you pull them into your fold. They've got to find some difference makers. There's no doubt about that.
Good on both.
That's a great job getting to the line here. You know, he didn't have a single attempt in that first quarter because I thought he was tentative. Much more aggressive here in the second.
And stolen by Simmons for the finish. And Simmons slams it in.
And how about the fast hands and then getting right out in transition?
Well, turning defense into offense, Greg. Outstanding effort there. Swiped it away with ease, and off they went.
Smith kicks to Marjanovic. Launches it. And it's Bullock missing.
You know, he's yet to hit another 3 after nailing one in the first, but I don't think that's going to stop him from shooting.
Gordon, and there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time. Gordon's got 6 points in the quarter. Here's Galloway. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Simmons. They get a hand on it, and stolen by Simmons. A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. Orlando out in front, running away with it. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Elfrid Payton. EP, you saw the floor and found the open man in the first half. What's enabled you to create all those opportunities?
You know, just trying to get into the paint, you know, defense collapsing, and the guys are doing the hard job of making the shots. So.
Well, it's a team effort, Elfrid. Thanks a lot for your time, man. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, and we'll be right back after halftime to start the third quarter. See you in just a bit.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. This big mountain of a man is Shaquille O'Neal, and this hill of a man is Kenny the Jet Smith. Orlando had no problems getting going. Their mission to dominate early was accomplished with a spirited 14-4 run to start. They gave a little of their initial cushion back, but still ended the first quarter with a 7-point lead. Then in quarter number 2, it was all hands on deck, and what a show it was. Quality execution, good efficiency, some tremendous defensive play helped them take a decisive advantage, and they're running away with this one. What did you think, Kenny, about what we saw from the Magic?
Well, they're winning all the 50-50 offensive boards. The rebound goes up. Everybody goes to get it, but only one person's coming down with it. And that's the guy with the extra effort, and it's been them tonight. That's why it's a blowout. These second chance opportunities, and they made the most of them.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Detroit?
The first thing to say is, what's up with the turnovers? Jeez. You can live with some missed shots and stuff like that, but you can't keep turning the ball over. It's crushing for a team. It just saps all your confidence when you play a half like that, Ernie. Ugh.
That about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. We go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. A fantastic game from Aaron Gordon in this one.
And I'll tell you, his work on the blocks in that first half, really impressive.
Yeah, he squatted on that paint area and owned it, perfectly using his size and that soft touch inside. That's a heck of a combination, strength, size, and soft touch. Nice.
Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. Johnson and Harris are at the forward spots. Jackson and Bradley are in the backcourt. And it's Drummond in at the center. That's the group starting the second half for Stan Van Gundy. Good. Vucevic has got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Magic.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
It was beautiful the first time, but Under Armour showing us the replay of that tremendous alley-oop again. Another unleash chaos moment. Outside Bradley. Beyond the arc. It's good with the assist that time from Johnson. Bradley's got 10.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look. And for a power forward, he can sure get up. I mean, because of that leaping ability, it kind of offsets his height disadvantage.
And, well, Detroit shooting at 46%, making some buckets. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession. We take a second here to take a look at the shot chart for Detroit.
And there isn't a whole lot of positives that you can take away from his performance from the mid-range game so far. A lot of chances have come up empty for him, but he seems intent on taking jumpers out there. Something's got to give.
Second half of basketball, just over a minute played so far. And it's Drummond missing. The Magic have gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. Here's Gordon. Here's Simmons. Lays it up off the glass. Simmons got 26.
And you can see the second chance points now starting to be a major factor.
Well, I tell you what, offensive rebounding is really an important statistic. Maybe undervalued a bit, but those extra possessions really do help.
And now here comes Simmons leading the break. And Fournier kicks to Gordon. And it's good for 2. Gordon's got 4 points in the quarter.
And they're really in a good position here, thanks in part to the way he's been able to score the basketball.
Jackson is doubled. He feeds it to Bradley. Drummond with it. Now guarded by Vucevic. And it's Drummond missing.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
And, you know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket. He's not shooting a high percentage right now, and part of the reason could be that his shot quality is poor, and he's just got to be a little smarter about his shots.
Uses the glass to finish the layup. Drummond's got 12 in the game.
Just a positive force right now for these guys, and though his team has fallen a bit short, it's not because of him. Just Mr. Reliable again here today, Kevin. I mean, they need his points, and he's producing. And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old-school type center. I mean, eats a...
Look at that jam!
Come on now, bring the thunder, rock that rim. Hey, listen, Gordon once jumped over a mascot while putting the ball under his legs in a dunk contest. I mean, he's one of the most ridiculous athletes and dunkers we have in the game. You know, Kevin, this team is struggling a bit right now. I mean, I hope he can find his rhythm and start making his shots out there soon. Otherwise, ...
And he gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
Oh, that's how you drive your point home right there.
He's lucky to get away with that, though, guys. I mean, it could have earned him a technical for hanging on too long.
And Harris wide open. He shoots. Harris missing again. Here's Gordon. And it's Gordon finishing it off.
Look at Gordon knife through that defense, getting ahead of steam on his way to the basket and flushing that dunk home.
The Pistons have gone a lackluster 3 of 9 from the field since halftime. And here's Harris from the arc. That's in, coming off the assist from Johnson. 6 points for Tobias Harris.
They didn't get a chance to knock one down in the first, but the defense left him a look, and he nailed it. He'll make them pay when he's open.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Well, when you look at the assist totals, heck, they've been clearly the better team.
Here's Simmons. Here's Gordon. He goes up again, and it's good on the layup. Gordon's got 43 points. And let's get your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the Magic.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
They've been firing on all cylinders in the transition game, too. I mean, they've really run the break well.
Oh, here he comes, and there he goes.
Look at him punish that rim.
Boy, the guys on the bench loving every minute of that one.
Johnson outside, trying his luck deep. Rebound by the Magic. Fournier's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And he gets it to go.
Excellent display of strength by Payton. Really wheels these attempts in thanks to his ability to adjust his shot after contact.
You talk about a pass-first point guard. That's Elfrid Payton.
That's his mentality and his gift. He's exceptional at it. He's been a good playmaker right from the start, a pure point guard. Old school in his ability to really focus on setting up his teammates.
Biyombo, he's checked in for Orlando. Hezonja comes in for Simmons.
One shot.
And Orlando coach Frank Vogel, an assistant coach and advanced scout for about a decade before his first head job with the Pacers, did a terrific job. He helped turn the Pacers into a powerhouse.
It's taken away by Payton. And up the court come the Magic on the break. And the dunk by Biyombo.
Super seeing the big man run the floor. Biyombo always making an effort to outwork everybody out there. Nothing like that effort.
The Pistons have gone 5 of 12 from the field since the third quarter got underway. And they double up Jackson. Poked away. Biyombo. That's good. Biyombo's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Really their own worst enemy right now with all these turnovers.
I tell you what, guys, this game would look a lot different, would have a different texture if they didn't give the ball away so much. I mean, that's really been the storyline so far.
Here's Hezonja. Biyombo. That's good. Biyombo's got 14 points. And the Pacers made the playoffs 5 out of 6 seasons under Coach Vogel. A conference best 56 wins in 2014.
Yeah, and I was there during some of those wonderful runs. And for many, it was a surprise to see the Pacers look in a different direction. But it is the nature of the business for head coaches, and the former general manager, president with the Pacers, felt like it was just time for a change. So Frank Vogel's in Orlando, has some talented pieces, and now it's just about trying to make those pieces fit.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
Jackson against Payton. And out of bounds. The Pistons will take it.
And now a quick review at the numbers for Payton. He's around 10 points per game, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. And some pretty good numbers, guys. He's certainly making a contribution.
Better than expected. He still has a ways to go, but I like what I'm seeing right now.
Smith checked in for the Pistons. Each trip down becoming more important.
And you need to string some successful offensive possessions together and play tough D.
Payton on the double team. Harris passes to Smith. It's Bradley on the wing. He's guarded by Fournier. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Back to Bradley. Shoots over Fournier. And Bradley gets it to go on the assist by Harris. Harris has got 4 assists in the game. Here's Biyombo. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got his 18th rebound here tonight, all over the place. And stolen by Biyombo. The finish, and it's Biyombo with the jam.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant, and this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
Drummond dishes to Smith. A 3 from Bradley. Bradley with another miss. They've shared the load offensively.
And guys, they put the defense on their heels. You can see right now they're trying to react, and that's what you want when you're in a rhythm offensively.
No one covering. Smith's got 6.
Boy, I like the fact that Smith is a very solid shooter from mid-range. His teammates are confident with him from that spot.
And slam dunk by Vucevic.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish.
Part of what makes him unique, guys, that combination of power and polish. He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
Basket good.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance.
I tell you what, it reminds me of one of my college coaches who used to say, that ain't gonna get it done. That's 5 straight baskets in the paint now.
And that one drops. Vucevic has got 8 points here in this quarter.
No hesitation at all in transition, and they have a huge margin in that department.
Fast breaks yield easy buckets, guys. They've made the most of their chances in that regard. The defense not able to get set. You get a running start to the rim, you should get a good number of scoring chances that way.
And since they've come out of halftime, they've been extremely poised and very efficient.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, certainly a step up from the first half. They're more engaged, more focused here in this second half, and they're getting good results.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
Perfect execution. That's how you take advantage of a transition opportunity.
On the wing, Johnson to stop the run. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. Smith's got 3 assists now in this one.
And defensively, you have got to extend to their shooters. They have been on fire this half.
Well, you know, the D just hasn't been there for real. I mean, these shooters are getting any perimeter shot they want. It's a bunch of warm-up jump shots out there.
Here's Harris. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Harris has got 8 points.
That's how you pass the pumpkin. I mean, Smith really keeps his head on the swivel to get that ball over to his open teammates.
Well, this is what he likes to do. Try to break your spirit.
I think he's trying to put this one away, quite honestly. I mean, feels like he can lay it up against any type of defense, and he can't.
It's stolen by Vucevic. Here's Payton. The shot's good. 16 points for him.
And they are attacking the rim and getting great results.
And how? I mean, they're taking this defense to task, taking them to school. Every one of their last 10 points have come in the paint.
And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Payton. So Detroit going with an almost entire new group here. Marjanovic checked in for Drummond. Tolliver comes in for Harris. Kennard, he's checked in for Stanley Johnson. And Langston Galloway subbed in for Avery Bradley. Then for the Magic, Spates checked in for Vucevic, and DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. There's 1:17 left here in the third quarter. The shot's good from Smith.
Man, that was a really nice interior shot by Smith. For a smaller guy, he's extremely confident when he gets down in the paint.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
The pass to Marjanovic. Second chance effort. He takes it up and lays it in.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
Yeah, those are back crushers. I mean, they really crack your back when you give teams second shots like that.
Yep, that one goes in there.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
And Greg, you know nothing makes a coach happier than selflessness on the basketball court.
The dish to Tolliver. Uncovered. That one rolling around and rims out. The Magic shooting a scorching 68% in the game. And Spates gets it to go.
And that set them apart today, guys. Their success with the mid-range.
Simply taking advantage of what the defense has given them, and they've really made the most of it.
Knocked loose. And up the court come the Magic on the break. Down through the hoop it goes. That's his 5th make on 9 shots from the floor.
And we're seeing some great ball movement out of this group, guys.
Here we go, 1-on-1. 4 seconds left. And the slam dunk by Spates.
And it's about the tempo, guys. It favors them, and just look at that score.
And, Greg, you know, they're really controlling the pace and game right now, rushing, pushing the break, and leaving the defense in its wake.
And so it's Orlando, able to put on a show for the ages. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. Let's listen in now to head coach Stan Van Gundy from a few moments ago.
You're going to have to help and close, not just stand near. Everybody's just trying to keep their guy from scoring. Come on now, we got to be better than this, guys.
And pleading for better help defensively, Stan Van Gundy telling his guys that that almost is not just going to cut it in a game like this.
Yeah, I mean, they've been lacking in terms of aggressiveness on that end, and as a result, the stops just haven't been there.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. So on the floor for Orlando, we've got DJ Augustine, Isaac out there with Maurice Spates. Then there's Aflalo, and stolen by Aflalo. Count that bucket.
Oh, great production on the interior right now. 8 straight from inside.
Buffalo bully ball right there, partner.
Okay. Getting a little physical. I like that. I like that reference.
Yeah. Back to Galloway. Good on the triple.
That defense was totally lost. Don't know how you let a shooter get off such a clean look from beyond the arc. Come on, you got to pay attention.
He's just able to shoot over people at a high rate.
And you were a good defender, Greg, so you tell me, how do you guard that? I mean, the height, the soft release, not a lot you can do against that combination.
To the wing on the left. With the tip, controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
A guy like him cannot be left alone around the hoop. If you do, it'll be buffet style all day long. Plenty of seconds right there.
Final quarter of play, about a minute and a half off the clock into it. Kennard, the pass to Galloway. Augustine with the steal. Pass to Isaac. No good, shot missing. And Detroit the other way now. Their next game is at the American Airlines Center in Dallas for a game with the Mavericks. That'll be just one game played away from home for them. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. Here's Kennard. Here's Bullock. And it's off from three-point range. Aflalo, that's good.
Oh, they own the interior right now. 10 straight points coming from inside.
Well, constantly finding lanes to the basket, getting great looks inside.
Doubled by Aflalo. Nice ball movement by Detroit. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Aflalo.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Yeah, refusing to give up anything easy. Solid defense, and I like that attitude.
Fourth quarter of play, and we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
I think he's got to be more aggressive, stronger, getting through those screens. Can't allow shooters that kind of space to pull the trigger.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
Galloway with the bucket.
And that's back-to-back threes. The D just seems to be slacking off a little bit.
Aflalo goes in. Bullock with the rebound. For Detroit, they've gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Exactly. Can't play it any better than that, Greg.
And that one is good. Augustine's got 6 points in the quarter.
Really easy to appreciate Isaac, Kevin. I mean, a solid teammate who's always ready to share the sugar.
There's a screen to the wing right side. Galloway. And a miss there on the triple.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And Detroit gets called for the foul. Thinking back to the great Warrior team from last year, Clark, how do you place them in a historical context for what they accomplished?
Well, they're on a short list of one of the great teams of all time in terms of winning a championship and what they did throughout the season to do so. You'd have to consider them as one of the outstanding teams in the history of the NBA.
2.
And that one falls for Spates. Well, Clark, the idea of player loyalty has been a topic the last few years. From your view, do you think players have an obligation to stick with the team that drafted them if they can?
I'd like to see that happen, Kevin. I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and personally I think it's cool to see guys hang with the team that drafted them as long as they can move forward towards their aspirations and goals individually and as a team. I also never begrudge players that after a time decide they'd like to explore a different opportunity with a different team for whatever the reasons might be that drive that. But traditionally and personally, I like to see players be one-team players if all of the circumstances that lend itself to that being productive are in place.
Moves back up, and it's good on the way in. Spates has got 16 points here in the second half.
And every move he makes looks like the right one at this point.
No doubt about it, Greg. I mean, the game comes so naturally to him, easily. I mean, helping to expand their lead as they try to close this one out, he's doing it.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
So it's the Pistons now. And stolen by Spates.
This game is going to get even more out of hand unless they start valuing the basketball.
Well, it's simply been an awful quarter. I mean, terrible ball security. They've actually handled that thing like it's got leprosy. Take care of it.
Ouch. Leprosy.
Passes it to Tolliver. Here's Kennard. Out of hand on it. And here come the Magic again. Orlando with the fast break. Here's Augustine. Here's Spates. And he makes good on the layup. Spates has got 12 points now in the quarter.
And you can see how this game is going. I mean, put a body on somebody.
Exactly, man. Come on. You got to be physical down there. There's got to be some intensity and some physicality on the boards.
Kennard, the pass to Galloway. Tolliver for 3. Here's Marjanovic. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
So close to getting the block there. You can live with those calls because you'd rather have a guy playing aggressive instead of playing it safe.
Here's Spates, and the slam dunk by Spates.
Excellent awareness there, zipping the ball over to the perfect spot to score it.
Detroit's gone beyond the arc 7 times here in the fourth and been successful 3 times. There's the pick, and stolen by Spates. Guarded by Marjanovic. Bucket is good.
And guys, give them credit. I mean, they've taken advantage of the turnovers in the open floor.
Converting them into points is what they've done, and that's been a big factor in this game, guys.
No good on that one. And it's the Magic taking it the other way. They get to take on the Bulls at Chicago after this one. That'll be the second of this 2-game road trip.
Just giving up way too many transition opportunities.
You know, it's okay to give up a few if you're getting them back on the other end, but that hasn't been the case here.
The feed to Bullock. Clark, we've seen a few active players have their own podcast that they produce throughout the season. It's a good idea or a bad idea for them?
Again, I'm ambivalent to that because the landscape is so different now with the social media platforms, and I like the fact that players have a chance to control their narrative, their story, through the different social media platforms, the Players Tribune, podcasts. Now, you have to balance that with your responsibilities and obligations to your team, your teammates, and your franchise.
Mind the
and
lanes.
so that's where it
Mind
becomes
the
a challenge, managing
One
your
shot.
time effectively. and using it wisely. But clearly players should have the opportunity to be fully engaged people beyond just playing the game.
Magic shooting an unreal 70% from the field, making a mockery of this defense.
And for a near 7-footer, Isaac is remarkably agile. I mean, he's gazelle-like with his agility, solid at knifing inside, and does a good job driving to the goal.
Smith kicks to Tolliver. There's the steal. On the wing of Flello. And good. Coming in on the assist by DJ Augustine.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Got a piece of it. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. Shelvin Max checked in for Orlando. On defense, the Magic. Ball's knocked loose. It's stolen by Mack. There's the killer two-handed slam.
And folks, those are hops that you just don't see from that one spot every day.
Well, that's why he is such an uncommon talent.
Yep, uncommon and unparalleled. I mean, he makes things happen out there for sure.
Feeds to Bullock from the arc. The putback. Rebound by the Magic. To the inside. Rebound, Detroit. Marjanovic has got 8 rebounds in this game. Here's Kennard. He's covered by Mack. Kennard, the pass to Marjanovic. That one drops for him. Marjanovic has got 11 points here in just the second half. Here's Spates. Kennard with the rebound. For Detroit, they've gone 7-16 from the field here in the fourth. That's about 43%. And there's a foul. It's on Maurice Spates. That's his 5th foul. Clark, when we talk about the importance of what a player can do, how important is it for a player to know what they cannot do?
Very important. Understanding who you are and what your skill set is and how that fits with your team, critically important. Not only knowing it, but then embracing your role within your particular limitations, skill set, and teamwork. Misfires again, and the ball just refuses to cooperate with him. It's a tough day so far.
And he gets the bucket.
He's come out here in the second half and done a nice job moving, getting good looks, and finding his range.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Here's Marjanovic. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Marjanovic has got 11 points in the quarter.
And really the scoring this quarter has been just off the charts, doing all he can to bring them back. They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Pretty clear it's smash mouth basketball. Pound that thing inside.
Smith kicks to Bullock. Here's the screen. And stolen by Spates. And up the court come the Magic on the break. Mack leading the charge. And there are the Magic with another bucket. And for the Pistons, they're shooting 44% in the fourth. The offense with some ups and downs. Kennard, the pass to Marjanovic. Bullock dishes to Tolliver. 6 to shoot. Here's Kennard. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Smith's got 5 assists in the game.
Boy, this final period, they are putting up a ton of shots from deep.
And knocking down a bunch of them, too. Outstanding shooting in this fourth quarter.
Langston Galloway's checked in for Reggie Bullock. And the Magic making a change here as well. Aaron Aflalo, he's checked in for Augustine. The Pistons shooting in this game, 45%. Pass to Marjanovic. The jump hook. Here's Tolliver. And another shot. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
Now that's where you like your shots to come from.
And league expansion is something that simply won't leave the conversation in the NBA right now, Clark. Do you think that the NBA adding another team or two is inevitable?
I don't think it's inevitable. As a matter of fact, I think we're at a good number where we are, Kevin. it's still the best league in the world, and I think you could dilute that a bit if you added teams. So I'm fine with where we are.
One shot.
That free throw good from Tolliver. And it's the Magic's ball. There's the triple. Buries it from three-point range. Max got 7 points for the quarter.
Don't underestimate him. He can knock that down.
Kicks to Galloway. They set the pick. Doubled by Aflalo. It's stolen by Mack. All alone. Throws down the breakaway jam.
And a good example there of why it's important to change ends quickly.
Vitally important. I mean, if you relax for a second, you're cooked. You're toast. They learned that lesson there.
Smith kicks to Tolliver. Tipped away. Hit his foot. And it's being called a kickball. We've got 1:48 left in the fourth quarter. That shot off.
Boy, Kevin, he just clanked that one. I mean, surprising because the defense wasn't really in the picture.
Yeah, just a simple one-hand flush.
I think he got a few more inches on his vertical by going with the spike.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, he was way up there.
Out to Smith. Back to Marjanovic. To halt the run.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Magic.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And it'll advance their win total up to 12 on the season.
And this is a great way for them to kick off this season series. 2 more games ahead, and they've taken the mental advantage with this win tonight.
Greg, I don't think it'll play out quite that simply, though. The team coming out on the losing end of Game 1 is just that much more motivated to get even in Game 2 and 3. So I think the edge goes to the losing team.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Vucevic.
Tell you what, this guy worked his behind off on both ends of the floor. He was really an intimidating presence out there.
Man, he sure can get off the floor.
He one of the best in the business, absolutely.
Boy, he makes it look easy. He is an absolutely imposing finisher around the rim.
Here's Kennard. 41 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Clock at 6. Down low. And that one's good. Marjanovic. Marjanovic has got 30 points.
And guys, you got to ask, where was this effort when it matters? The game's over now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, frustrating to say the least. I mean, don't even know why they're trying anymore. This one is a wrap.
And the Pistons with possession here. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here is Tolliver. Out to Smith. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
Both free throws good from Smith.
Boy, and at only 6 feet tall, Smith uses that blazing speed of his to keep defenses off balance. Good luck trying to stay in front of him.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. They're ahead. 7 seconds left in the fourth. Guys, what's your take?
You know, this is a timeout maybe just so they can pat each other on the back because no other reason to call it.
Well, they're really just being conservative, making sure they don't make any last-minute mistakes, I guess. I mean, I have no idea. No idea.
now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Nikola Vucevic.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
He'd finally had enough of their losing streak, and it's going to take something special to regain some kind of momentum. And his effort has been very special tonight. Seven seconds left in the game. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Marjanovic. Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation. Now, here is Smith. And so it's Orlando taking this one by a big margin. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thank you, Kevin. With Evan Fournier. Hey, Evan, does a win like tonight's against this kind of competition show you how far you've come as a team?
Yeah, sure. You know, we obviously showing progress, but we want to be a very good team. We are very ambitious.
Nothing wrong with a little ambition, Evan. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. See you next time.